Usually the style with the videos is mainly analytic. I don't really try to do opinion pieces because exceptions to the rule. And we're all debating whether the Jon Snow sequel idea, now that it's out there, is a good idea, it's a bad idea. For people who don't know anything, like Thor Skywalker, who's a complete fucking moron, he seems to think there's a link between George and Star Wars. No, George doesn't like Star Wars. In fact, he hates a lot of Star Wars, even though yes, he's kind of stealing from them, but we'll get to that in due time in another video. So, Jon Snow. What can Star Wars teach us? Well, I'm going to do something which is kind of like a double-edged sword, I think, because in principle, this isn't totally stupid or brain dead. It can be done well, but it's a lot of warning signs, and I want to bring in Solo as well as Rise of Skywalker and show them as kind of contrasting cases. For those who don't know, minor spoilers, but in Solo goes on basically a kind of heist mission, but they do this weird thing, which I'm going to get into, which I think is a very big dilemma, and I don't know if they're going to be able to resist the temptation. And the Red Letter Media people are actually pretty good on this. Their Star Wars content is not that good, but sometimes they actually have some good insights. And then we have Rise of Skywalker, which is very relevant because a major character was brought back from the dead. And that's what they did with Jon Snow. He was dead. He was literally dead. They brought him back. They didn't even really explain how or why. That was always left like a dangling thing. The Lord of Light. But really, we don't know. Now, I think in the books, it is going to be the Lord of Light, and it is happening. A lot of people are speculating it might not. We know he's coming back. So to be fair, the show, Game of Thrones, did not resurrect as many people as George does in the books. To be fair to Benioff and Weiss, 90% of what they did was garbage, but you got to give them credit for showing some restraint on the resurrection thing. So now we get to Solo. Was Solo good? I'm very, very mixed on it. There were a lot of good things in it, and there were enough action scenes you can be satisfied with it, but it was very, very flawed. And one of the major things they did, which was really, really, really stupid, and as reluctant as I am, I have to agree with some commentators, that was not a good idea.
You aren't going to convince us to be in any kind of tension-filled moments when Chewbacca's life is threatened because he can't die, but hell, you do it with Ranger Solo like 5 separate times in this movie, so it's not like you're going to listen to me. I mean, in this scene alone, the Empire troopers are given this huge chance to shoot Ranger Solo, and they just don't. It's like the movie is embarrassed to put him in these adventures because he has to be in danger, but he also can't die, so it's just awkward mainly. Series of about 2 minutes was just fucking silly. And you know what? After Rey murdered Chewie, Finn makes this noise. And it honestly makes me laugh. It's as though he's saying, "Why the fuck did you kill him, you dumbass?" Either way, our characters sort of just pick up and leave. No First Order chase them, Kylo doesn't even bother trying to stop them. Okay, next up we see Chewie is fine. He's on board Kylo's destroyer, and it turns out Rey just destroyed a random other transport ship. No.
So yeah, if you saw Solo, as well as Rise of Skywalker, they just kept baiting character deaths, and that was really, really dumb. In Solo, that was just beyond stupid, because you can't do it. Chewbacca, we know, is alive. That's just something you can't play with, so baiting his death was kind of pointless. So they brought in a lot of other characters. Of course, they were killed off, but yeah, we know Han and Chewbacca are safe. So stop doing that. Baiting their deaths was pointless. And now you think with Rise of Skywalker, at least it's credible. It's a sequel series. I mean, in principle, they could be killed off, right? At least it's potentially dramatically gripping, but no. Just JJ kept doing it over and over and over again. And it's the same character. They baited Chewbacca dying. He's not dead. They baited 3CPO. He's going to die. He's not dying. They did kill off some people, but for the most part, when they baited death, we know it ain't going to happen. They're not going to die. Relax. They're not going to kill off these fan favorites. It's just too much money. The kids wouldn't like it. They're safe. Now you think Game of Thrones, we're going to do a Hound series. We're going to do Young Drogo. We're going to do Brienne of Tar. We're going to do a prequel. We're going to do a sequel. Game of Thrones, right? Famous for killing people. It doesn't matter anymore. It doesn't matter. Now in the canon, we know they can resurrect people. You can't even turn to George. George has resurrected people. Granted, when they get resurrected, they're like zombified. They're not exactly coming back 100%, but that was already in the show, right? The Brothers Without Banners. We know this. Beric died. He was brought back. He dies several times. So this is not a big thing. Like, well, Game of Thrones permanent death. No, death is not permanent. They were just wise to not pull the trigger too many times. So fans who are not really experts, but again, the responsibility when you become a lore expert, when you become an actual expert in X, Y, or Z, you have to tell people. They may not want to hear it. No, you can resurrect anybody. In fact, Jon Snow, he was resurrected almost completely. He mostly came back as he was. Full memories. Okay, he was a little depressed. That's about it. I mean, Buffy the Vampire Slayer did this way better. I mean, she was depressed for a long, long time. It was a very traumatic experience coming back from the dead. But with Game of Thrones, it's like, okay, you died, you came back, take a few aspirin pills. It's like, it wasn't really all that meaningful. So the danger, of course, is if you do the Hound, if you do Drogo, Brienne, whoever you're thinking about, or Jon Snow, they're going to be tempted to bring in the death card. But it's like, what is the point anymore? What is the point? I can just foresee it now. What are they going to do with the Hound? We're going to have the Hound for 2 seasons, right? And then kill him off and have a female Hound, have a feminist flip the card. Oh, bait and switch, like, oh, now this is the female Hound. And the fans are going to go nutsoid. The ratings are going to decline for seasons 3 and 4. And they're going to be like, oh, let's bring back the male Hound. And the male Hound comes back for seasons 5 and 6, wasting a lot of time. And it'll end on a mixed record. And it's like, well, what was the point? What is the point? And I could swear to God, I know what they're gonna do. Because now that you got Jon Snow back, we all know what they're gonna do. They're gonna bring back Ramsay Bolton. It's just too tempting. He's just a fan favorite. I like Ramsay. You like Ramsay. Ramsay was very compelling. Granted, he makes no sense. He's stupid. He's basically a cartoon cat. He's beyond cuckoo. Doesn't make any sense at all. But he was very compelling. And he is a Jon Snow antagonist, and they do have vendetta. So now that you can bring back people zombified or purely back as they were, it's just too tempting to do it. I can foresee this going 2 ways. It can be like a solo series, be like, okay, it's a nice little adventure, some good fighting action scenes, but a lot of flaws. But, for what it is, it's a fun adventure. Or it can be like Rise of Skywalker. Yeah, it has good action scenes. The narrative is basically cohesive. I mean, people say it's not cohesive. We know what happens. Rey kills Palpatine. You can't deny that. Like, they got that right at least. But the whole point is, why bring it back? Why were you bringing back Palpatine? What was the point of doing that in the first place? I mean, you could if you did it well, if you had a good story, but they didn't. They didn't care. They just want a marketing gimmick. Palpatine is popular. Let's bring him back. Why? Doesn't matter. Marketing gimmick. We can do it legitimately in the universe. It's true. Cloning does exist, and within the Game of Thrones universe, yes, you can resurrect people, so you're gonna do it. It's just too tempting to do it, and it's just for a marketing purpose. But maybe they'll get it right. Maybe Kit has a good team. Maybe he has good writers. Maybe they're gonna have a good idea, but I'm just fearful they're gonna pull stupid cards. And I mean, I know from a fan perspective, I can't deny, like, zombified Ramsay Bolton has a lot of possibilities, but it's just going to be too tempting. They're just going to keep pulling the resurrection card and just push that button so many times. It'll be like, this is getting really stupid. But from Solo and Rise of Skywalker, yeah, those are the 2 major options. You're always going to do bait people's deaths. Don't do it, which is really stupid, but then really do it and then just resurrect the character in a couple years and be like, well, that diminished the stakes from the first killing. So what was the point? I don't know, but we're going to go down this road with the fan favorites. Those are the dangers ahead.